We back, man. Yo, boxing fans, get ready, man. November 15th. November 15th. We got a treat coming, man. Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor. The rematch. AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas. Again, man, November 15th. This one should be loaded with fireworks, man. If anybody don't know what time it is, go back and check the fight between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano back in Madison Square Garden a little while back, man. This one was like one of the most exciting female boxing events that I've ever witnessed, man. I mean, Amanda Serrano came in there like a total firecracker, man. Katie Taylor came in there throwing bombs. These girls were going at it all through that fight, man. It was just like a marvel to watch, man. This was like your quintessential Hagler versus Hearn kind of setup, man. There was not a dull moment in the fight. The shit was just, you know, bloody, rough, rugged. It just looked like two like top-notch levels of will, man, just going at it without one being broken at any point in the fight, man. At the end of it, man, you know, if you ask most people, people will tell you, man, this shit could have gone either way, man. It's like one of those, it's like a Hagler Hearns, man, you know, without the actual knockout. You know, you watch it over and over, and each time, you know, for some people, each time you get to the end, you might have like an argument that the other person could have won, you know, depending on how the judges were seeing it for that night, you know. But the way I saw it personally, man, I think Amanda Serrano, I think she did get robbed in that fight, man. I think the fight was like ultra competitive, right? But I didn't think on the scorecards it should have been as close, man, because technically Amanda had a lot of those rounds in the bag, man. She was really outpointing Katie. Katie was definitely throwing the harder shots, but Serrano was hitting with the cleaner shots, you know. She was really like, to me, a little bit more accurate, and her work rate was a bit higher. But Katie was, you know, putting in a lot of work too, man. She was going 110 on her end, but I think Serrano's 110 was like a little bit better, man. She edged it out just a little bit more. But at the end, you know, it came down to a split decision, and Katie took that one. So that put Katie in a kind of a special place, man, because she, her first name is escaping me right now, but Amanda Serrano's sister is somebody that Katie fought as well, and Katie beat her previously. So technically, on paper now, she has both Serranos in the bag as far as like who she's defeated. So she's doing that Erlandi Lara thing, you know what I mean? The only difference is Lara's paperwork says he only beat Inocente, Canelo's brother. But if you watch the fight, man, I think he beat Canelo by like a good 3-4 rounds when him and Canelo fought. So, you know, in truth, I think Lara can say he beat both of the Alvarez brothers. And on paper, Katie can say she beat both of the Serranos. But I don't know, man. I don't think this time, I don't see it being as easy for, well, I mean, it wasn't easy the first time for Katie to pull out a win. I mean, I think the judges, they, in my opinion, you know, my own opinion, I think they just got it wrong. You know what I mean? It was a close fight. It was a good fight. It was a very, you know, high energy fight. But I think Serrano should have walked away with that one, man, if you were actually scoring based on the actual, if you're actually going by who's actually hitting the other person more. You know, Katie did drop some bombs, but she wasn't forcing Serrano to back up. In fact, Serrano was doing all the stalking, and Katie was just she was just, you know, doing her bit of drilling too, but she didn't have Serrano backpedaling, man. So Serrano was pushing the pace more, and Serrano, in my opinion, was landing more punches with more combinations and more frequency, you know. So the judges got it wrong, and that's why it was a conflicting score at the end, where it came down to a split decision, loss for Serrano. So one of the judges got it right, and two of them, they settled for the other way, you know. So, but I think results aside from that first fight, man, I think these two girls are gonna bring the excitement, man. I think you know, this event's definitely, and for nobody else but them two, man, it's gonna be sold out, man. This is a kind of matchup that you just gotta see, man. I think when it's all said and done, if everything that makes sense actually continues to make sense, man, we're gonna be looking at an opportunity for a trilogy fight following this rematch, man, because I don't think Katie is ready to hang it up, and I know Serrano knows that fight slipped away from her, man, somehow, some way, and I think it's mostly due to the judges. But I think Serrano's gonna come back, and she's gonna do what she do to everybody else, man. She gonna come in there and put some heat on Katie. So Katie better be ready, man. I think she's gonna be, because Katie don't really get caught slipping out there too much. Katie has a single loss, and that's to Chantel Cameron, and that came through like a split decision. I watched that fight, man. Cameron ran that show. That should have not been a split decision. It should have been a unanimous decision. But it was like, you know, I think they really just wanted Cameron to lose that fight. A lot of the commentators and some of the people involved, man. So there was a lot of like, you know, they were just kind of speaking sort of underwhelmingly about Chantel Cameron as she was boxing Katie. But if you look at it, she was roughing Katie up. She was too big for Katie, man. Katie wasn't able to handle her in that first fight. So that first fight should have been a unanimous decision, not a split decision. Cameron ended up beating Katie, giving her her first loss on paper, and then a few months later, about 6 months later, they have a rematch, and Katie came out victorious. So I guess the score is settled. I don't think Katie's trying to box this chick again. The Serrano fight is definitely more lucrative and definitely more exciting as far as the styles go. And I think weight-wise, I think Serrano poses more of an exciting matchup for Katie, because Katie will have a little bit more control. She's more like evenly weighted with Serrano. In fact, Katie is the bigger one in that matchup. So it goes to her advantage, I think. But again, Chantel Cameron ain't no damn Serrano. Serrano puts some fucking hurt on your ass. She may be little, but it's torturous, man. Those fucking hands, they never take a rest, bro. They all land in your fucking face, hitting you in the body, and she just don't let up, man. So I think this one in November, man, November 15th, AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas, man. This is gonna go down, man. This one, you gotta mark this shit on your calendar, man, and make plans to be there somewhere, somehow, man, because this one here is definitely gonna be another one for the ages. And like I said, man, I think if all things that make sense continue to make sense, at the end of the day, man, whoever wins or lose, I know the fight's gonna be so tight, man, that it's gonna be worthy of a trilogy fight, you know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to that shit, man. Serrano, she's got a really stellar record as well, man. She's got 47 wins, 2 losses to her name, and 1 split decision draw. The losses on her record, man, those shits are as fucking illegitimate as you can get, bro. Like, I think the Katie Taylor situation, that should have been handed to Serrano. I think she did more than enough to earn that victory. And the other one was to a girl years ago named Frida Wahlberg. Frida Wahlberg was like, you know, she was supposed to be like one of these like darling type of boxers, you know, where she had a good buzz, she had a good record going in to facing Serrano. But if you watch the fight, man, Serrano cleaned her the fuck up, bro. And they were fighting in her hometown, like in Sweden somewhere. And Wahlberg, you know, she got her ass beat, man. Not the shit. I might have her name wrong, but so it's a Swedish chick. But I watched the fight. You go back, watch this fight, man. There's no way in fucking in hell that Serrano could have lost this fight, except for being fucking cheated. You go back, you watch the fight, man. It was one of those situations like when Pacquiao fought Jeff Horn, right? And all the Australians came out to support Jeff Horn because he had this hometown story. He's a school teacher, kind of like like a guy you might want to root for. You know, it's a regular dude doing some serious boxing, and he's facing one of the biggest names in boxing. And you hope, that he has some good luck in there. That's how the Australians came out to support him. But they watched Pacquiao beat his fucking ass, and then when the scoring came, nobody in the audience was able to cheer for this motherfucker because they knew that Pacquiao got robbed. He got flat out fucking robbed. So you go back and you watch the fight, everybody that's celebrating is Jeff Horn's corner. That's it. Ain't nobody ringside, and the majority of the motherfuckers at ringside, the fans that came out, they came out to support Jeff Horn. So they didn't just turn on him. They just like, what the fuck was, they're looking at it like, what the fuck is up with the judges, man? Who paid these motherfuckers to make sure this motherfucker won, And, that's another story, but the situation with Serrano back in the day with this fight in Sweden, man, it was the same shit. They knew that girl got her ass beat, and then when the judges, when the scoring was announced, they had this bitch beating Serrano like she really won that fight, man. So to me, that's an illegitimate loss. It's one of those a boxing corruption charge. That's one of those things, man. Like it happens a lot of boxing, man. This shit is it's just deplorable at times. You know what I mean? Because you're watching what you're watching, man, and it's an ass whooping being served up cold, and then. At the end of the day, they tell you, "Oh, that's not what was on that plate, man. That ain't what you saw. It ain't what you saw." So, again, Serrano's her name is a lot bigger now. You know what I mean? And I think it's a long time coming for her, man, because this girl's put in so much work. Again, she's got 47 fights. And out of that, she's got 31 knockouts, man. Let's talk about the knockouts, bro. Like, that's a high fucking number for a female in general, man. That means she's got about I think a 65% knockout ratio, man. That's enormous, man, for a female boxer, because usually a lot of them, they kind of order in the area of the 20s to the low 30s, man. And this one is like, three, 4 times that average, And Serrano just keep building, man. She just keep cleaning them up. I think right now, it's, in the women's boxing world, man, I think her and Katie, Clarissa Shields, Alicia Baumgartner, Michaela Mayer, these girls are kind of like, they putting in all the heat, man. And they're keeping it alive, man. They're keeping it exciting for people who are finally paying attention to women's boxing. But again, man, come October 15th, should be a sold-out show. So get your tickets ready, get your TV ready, get your phone ready, whatever the hell, man. Just don't miss that fucking fight, because you're gonna be missing another classic, man. And like I said, if we're lucky, we're gonna get a trilogy out of this shit. So it is what it is. Check y'all next time. Peace.